White people didn't invent slavery. In fact, they were the first to end it.
Hey guys, this is Unpontificated, and today we're going to engage with a video that was done by Kaizen Asiedu. I will leave his information in the comments there. Please go and subscribe to his channel. He does some good stuff. And as you can see there, he is starting out with a very controversial statement. But I'd like us to engage with this, and just to let you know, I agree with pretty much everything that he says.
Yet somehow, saying this is controversial. Watch what happens when someone says it out loud.
The reason there is no slavery in the world today, I mean, there's a lot of slavery in the world today, but in the parts of the world where there's no slavery, is because the British Empire ended it. That's why there is no slavery.
It's true.
That is...
So,
well,
that's going to
look, the fact that you are uneducated about history doesn't mean it's funny. So let me educate you now. Let me educate you now. Let me educate you now. I know that the woke narrative and the anti-Western narrative on slavery... Oh, you're not practicing free speech very well, are you? You're not practicing free speech very well, are you? The moment I say something you don't like, you're not practicing free speech very well, are you, sir?
Let's be clear. Slavery is evil, but it's an ancient human evil practiced by everyone to everyone. 4 years ago, I went to Ghana. I stood in a slave dungeon where people who looked like me sold people who looked like me to white people. But long before Europeans began the transatlantic slave trade, there was a trans-Saharan slave trade. For over 1,000 years, brown Arab slavers sold millions of black Africans across the Sahara.
Yeah, guys, Dr. David Livingstone, one of the most famous missionaries, British missionaries who came to Africa, Zambia, mostly Southern Africa, but he saw when he was in East Africa, looking to one of the letters that he actually wrote in one of his travels. He says, while talking about the slave trade in East Africa, so this is in 1874, to draw its evil is a simple impossibility. This is in his journals. Livingstone wrote about a group of slaves forced to march by Arab slave traders in the African Great Lakes region where he was traveling there in 1866. A lot of people don't realize, a lot of people, at least in this side of the world, in the West, like to talk about the slave trade done by the Europeans. The Arabs arguably were even more evil in what they did to Black African people in their slave trade there. We passed a slave woman shot or stabbed through the body and lying on the path. A group of men stood about 100 yards off on one side and another of the women on the other side looking on. They said an Arab who passed early that morning had done it in anger at losing the price he had given for her because she was unable to walk any longer. And then 1866, today we came upon a man dead from starvation as he was very thin. One of our men wandered and found many slaves with slave sticks on. Here we are, there's a slave stick. Abandoned by their masters from want of food, they were too weak to be able to speak or say where they had come from. Some were quite young. Anyway, Dr. Livingstone wrote a lot about these. You can certainly find his stuff online. But just wanted to reiterate to Kaizen's point. Slavery is a human evil, not just a white European evil.
Then came the Barbary slave trade. In North Africa, Arab and African raiders captured and sold over 1 million white Christian Europeans. China, Korea, Japan, India, every one of them practiced slavery. Europeans did take slavery to another scale when they came to Africa, but it's not because they were more evil, it's because they had the technology to commit evil on an industrial scale. So, which major power stopped slavery first? The British, in large part because of pro-human Christian values. The same values America was founded on, the same values that drove white Americans to fight other white Americans to free Black Americans in the Civil War. Values missing in places like Libya, where today you can buy a human being for $400. White people aren't better than anyone else, but they're also not worse. Yet, some Black people are taught to hate white people, and many white people are taught to hate themselves. We keep pretending evil has a color, as if less melanin means less morality. That lie makes us ignore history and fuels racial hatred. Right now, much of that hatred is aimed at white people. But why should Black or brown people care? Because hatred is a hot coal that we hold in our hand, waiting to throw at another. It burns them, but it burns us too. It turns every problem into white supremacy while defending Black degeneracy.
Just in case, just to power off, guys. I mean, the sound off, just in case you guys didn't know, the Sidney Sweeney ad had a lot to do with a lot of people up in arms because Sidney Sweeney made this play on words where she talked about great genes, Genes, and her genes, Jeans. And she was talking about having great genes, and she's blue eyes and blonde, and people were like, oh yeah. So that means what you're implying is that someone who's white with blue eyes and blonde hair has great genes, Genes, as opposed to someone who say brown and brown eyes and black hair doesn't have great genes. That's the implication. It caused a bit of a brouhaha. And of course, American Eagle sold a ton of genes. Interesting, if you go on TikTok, a lot of the people who are complaining were white people. It's just crazy. And the other one that was talking about when he talked about Black degeneracy, Carmelo Anthony is a Black student who murdered a white student. They were at it says what began as a dispute over a seat at a high school track meet on April 2nd at a school that neither of the boys attended, ended in tragedy. So this student stabbed this student, and a lot of the people who started talking about Carmelo Anthony as a Black student. There's got to be a reason why he did that. Look at what society is doing to Black people, instead of focusing on the fact that this guy murdered this guy, just stabbed him. I don't care what the dispute was. He was just stabbed, and it became to a black-white thing. Everything is coming to black-white, from the Sidney Sweeney genes, brown-white, black-white, to this Carmelo Anthony, black-white, black-white. Instead of just talking about someone has been stabbed. Who was stabbed? Okay.
And when the pendulum swings back, white people react with hostility, and then they defend white degeneracy.
Here's the white degeneracy. This is a white woman called a Black child, who I think was autistic, the N-word, and it's online. You can go watch it. But white people supported her because they're sick and tired of the whole woke thing. And she raised, well, this was as of May 7th. This is pretty old. She raised 700,000 US for people defending her for calling a Black child the N-word. So you see what Kaizen is saying? You have this kind of degeneracy happening, this Black degeneracy, this white degeneracy. Like, how can white people defend a woman calling a Black child, I believe it was like 5 years old, the N-word? But that's what's going on, right? And she doubled down when you watch that. But here's the GoFundMe page. Oh, sorry, that was for the child's family. And it had raised 340,000 for the child's family. So, you know, everyone's trying to one up each other. Everything's just black, white. Martin Luther King must just be rolling in his grave.
The only way out of this is to stop making morality about the color of people.
Amen. I'm going to repeat that. Stop making morality about the color of people. I'm going to stop the share. Stop making morality about the color of people's skin. Please.
Because in our capacity for good and evil, we are all equals.
In the capacity of good and evil, we are all equals. 100%. Kaizen hit the nail on the head with this one. Well done, sir. And what do you guys think? Like, do you agree with Kaizen? There was recently a case where I think it was in Quebec, where someone, a black man, was given a lighter sentence for drug offenses because he was black. His lawyer argued that he had been subjected to racism, to systemic racism, had a hard life, a decision to go on drugs, and as a result of that, can you have some mercy on this fellow? I mean, this is the lower expectations case. It's just brutal. It's actually embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. Anyway, what do you guys think? I just wanted to, I thought Kaizen was really good. If you could just stop making morality a black and white issue. We're all capable of evil. Black people were evil long before they even met white people. White people were evil since time immemorial. You know, it was just humanity just has a capacity for evil. It's got nothing to do with our race, nothing at all. All right, I'd be interested in your comments, guys, and I'll see you next time, in the next episode.